Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of Unit 7 arrays, and in this video we are going to talk about multi-dimensional arrays. Just like we have linear array, till now we have talked about linear array or one-dimensional array, and you can have all the arrays with more than one dimension are categorized under multi-dimensional arrays. You can have any number of dimensions in an array. You can have 2 dimensions, 3 dimensions, 4 dimensions. There is basically no limit, but in practice we generally don't use multi-dimensional array having dimensions more than 3 because they are very difficult to visualize and work with. And we can visualize linear array, 2D array, even 3D array to some extent, but working with 4 dimensions, 5 dimensions are very difficult. So we don't generally use that, and in this video we are more focused on 2-dimensional arrays. Okay, so 2-dimensional arrays as simply means we'll be having 2 dimensions. Just like we store data in a matrix or a table, similarly we are going to do that in here. Okay, so 2-dimensional arrays are indexed by 2 subscript, or one for row and another for column. It is called a matrix, or it is also called a matrix. Syntax, you can see then the type of the array we want, then we have name of the array, and then we specify number of rows in the square brackets, and then we have number of columns. If you want to have more than 2-dimensional array, you can cascade, or you can say you can continue writing the number of blocks of a particular dimension using a square bracket. Okay, and let's go through and program and understand it more clearly. So I'm going to declare as usually integer type uh, a 2-dimensional array, and I would be saying the number of rows to be 5 and number of columns to be 3, and I will be telling you how to initialize them. But before that, let me look into the matrix that I have just formed. Okay, the number of rows we have 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 0 to 4, 5 rows and 3 columns. How I am going to access each particular element? By writing the index, their particular indices. If I want to access this particular element, I need to write x to 1. Okay, and if I want to access this particular element, then I will be writing 1 0. Okay, and so on for all the rest blocks. Okay, so I'm going to initialize it within the row itself, and for that I'm going to use curly braces, and then I need to fill each and every row with a separate curly braces. Okay, I will be making 5 of these and separated by a comma. I have 5. Yes, I have 5 now. Now I need to fill each of these rows with 3 columns. Okay, each of these rows will 3 columns. Let me initiate is 1 2 3. Okay, 4 5 6, and I am filling at 7 8 9 and 10 11 12 and 13 14 15. Okay, so number of elements that we can store in here are 15. Why it is 15? 3 times 5 times 3 is 15, and you can see in here how would you calculate number of blocks in here. It is simple, number of rows in multiplied by number of columns. And how you are going to calculate the size of the this matrix or 2-dimensional array, that is also simple, number of elements into size of each element. Okay, and in this manner you are going to store all the value in this particular array, and they will be stored in this manner such that this will be the very first row, this will be the very second row, this will be the very third row, and so on. So the data will be entered at 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. Okay, and I'm going to print the data out using loops. Okay, and you can even use print statement with each and every element, but that would be very hectic. So we are going to go for nested loops. Why are we going for nested loop? Because we need to nest, or you can say we need to loop through rows and columns both, and you need to specify, you need to print the values in this manner, or in this manner you are going to. And it is very obvious, for printing process we are always going for this manner, printing the very first row, then printing the very second row, then printing the very third row, and because this is not possible at all. And let's, but in the scanning process this can be done, and this also can be done. The row wise filling is also possible and column wise filling is also possible, but while printing the statement we are going for row wise. Okay, and what do I mean by row wise, I will let you know now. Okay, I'm going to write now for nested for loop now. For now you can see in here I have written a nested loop, and you can see in the very outer loop goes from 0 to 5, and the inner loop goes from 0 to 3, or basically 0 to 2 and 0 to 4. And I have specified x as I and j in here. And why I is coming first, because there are number of rows, and number of rows are 5, and outer loop is specifying as 5. And since the outer loop is 5, we are going to print the values in this manner, or in the manner row wise pattern you can say. And you will see we will go with the execution ourselves after we have printed this all. Okay, let's see what we have as an output. And you can see now in our output we have printed the 2D array as it is in the manner of matrix. And you can see after each row printing we are also printing a slash nine. That is why we are getting each row in separate lines, and that was the method that I was using. Okay, you can even go with the other method. You can print rows, column first and then rows, and I will be demonstrating you that. You just need to replace j with I and I with j, and you need to also change the sizes. And let's see what we have now. You can see now here we have printed that in a reverse, or you can rotated manner, where columns are coming first and then we have rows in this manner. Okay, and both of these pattern will work for you, but generally we use the method that we used just now for printing or even scanning processes also. So now what I am going to do, before I use scanf function to enter the value of x, I also wanted to tell you that without these curly braces also the things are going to work fine. But the thing is that the compiler is going to automatically group all the elements in here in the rows of three columns, and you need not to specify. But if there is any shortage of element, that is very obvious, the last one would be having this. I have just deleted 15, and the last one 50, instead of 15 we would be seeing some garbage value, and you can see in here now. Yes, 0, you are seeing 0. If I'm going to erase 14 and 13 also, let's see what we have then. So we have zeros by default. All these elements, if you are not going to specify, they are going to get zeros in them, not the garbage value. Okay, so let's see, let's fill back the numbers, and let's remove this, and we are going to scan through this array, and we are going to ourselves enter the values. Okay, and I'm going to use the same for loop, but instead of print statement I'm going for scanf statement, and I don't need this printing statement. And scanf, I'm going to go for scanf, and I don't need this slash t, and I need address of that particular element. So let's enter the value ourselves, and the values will be entered row wise, not the column wise. Okay, So we are not getting any printing statement, and that is very weird. And so I'm going to now add a print statement now here. Printf and enter x I j, oh sorry, not ij, percentage d comma I comma j. Let's run the program now. So I need to enter the value. Let me enter it as 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. And now you can see we have entered, and we have also printed the values out. So this was all about two-dimensional array. See you in the next video.